Recording live from my Huntington Stronghold in Annapolis, Maryland, beyond. This is the Recruiter Roundtable Season 3. Every episode is an open discussions for recruiters, headhunters, and talent pros, so feel free to participate or just sit back and listen as we bring you discussions, topics, tips, tricks, and more from both industry dinosaurs and noobs like Andrew alike. Please like and subscribe, and now let's start with Recruiter Roundtable Season 3, planning and goals for 2026. So, hey, everybody. No visuals today, no diatribes, nothing like that. I think I really wanted to just kind of back and forth with everyone of what you're doing for planning for 2026 and what your goals are for 2026 and how you're going to meet those goals. And we can talk a little bit about KPIs or as people management recruiters backing out of. I want to do 200,000. What do I have to do to do 200,000? How do I split it up in 12 months? How do I split it up in 52 weeks? How do I split it up by day? Like, 250 working days or whatever working days there are. So does anybody want to start, or do I need to run off at the mouth for a little bit?
I guess you're going to start.
So let's talk a little bit about the goals, right? So when I was at Management Recruiters, the first goal I ever had was to make $60,000, right? So Dave maybe put a thing together, and it was like getting one placement every other month, like 6 placements, right? I remember the exact numbers, but that's what it was, and I blew it out of the water, right? So the next year we planned it again, and one of the things Dave always talked about, and this is something that Management Recruiters has always pushed as well, is a send out a day, right? So to send out a day gives you 5 send outs a week. 5 send outs a week gives you 20 send outs a month. The average across the board, and when we talk about send outs, we're talking about first time send outs. So that can be you have a candidate that you send out to a company and they interview them, whether it's a face-to-face, over the phone, Teams, or whatever, for the very first time. That's a first time send out. So you get 10 first time send outs, you'll get a job. You'll make a placement, right? You get 20 first time send outs, you'll make a placement. So the send out a day concept was a send out a day 200K because of our commission structure. If you did 2 placements a month at the average fee is like 250 grand, that's $105,000 on our commission structure. So a send out a day 100K. I'm sorry, not 200K, 100K. So when you're looking at planning, think about things like that, right? So okay, if I want to make $200,000 this year, then I need to get one send out. If my average fee is $10,000, I need to get 1 send out a day, right? And that could be 3 send outs on Monday, 2 on Wednesday, as long as you're getting 5 a week or 20 a month. Like that's the simplest way to back into what you want to do, right? Now, there are other KPIs that people talk about after the first send out, and is it engaged? What's your send out to placement ratio? Like, for some of us who've been doing this a while, our send out to placement ratio is like 3 to 1 or 2 to 1, where a newer person might be 10 to 1. So when you want to go back and look at 2025, 2024, look at how many first time send outs you had, how many placements did you make, right? And then you can kind of figure out what your send out to placement ratio is and then plan your goals that way. Is what I'm saying making sense? Mm-hmm. Anybody have any questions or anything on that one? Because that's kind of the simplest way to plan for how much money you want to make your next year. And you can always be conservative. If your average fee is 25, say it's 20, right? If your send out to placement ratio is 3 to 1, say it's 5 to 1, right? And up your send out to placement rates. And then since Ernie wasn't paying attention, David M.R. wants to know what the Godfather has to say.
Well, no, I've been paying attention. I'm putting down some of the numbers that you're talking about. It's kind of like, as I look at it, you have the right attitude. The question becomes, how much do you want to make? And for some people, they're looking at, I want to make $1 million, I want to make 300. You look at what you're capable of doing and how many years you've been at this, and to also understand that for some folks, 50,000 is a good number. Others is 100, but don't try to measure yourself against all those guys that are in the pinnacle society or think you're a failure because you only did 50 or 60,000. This is a growing game. And the more you learn, the more you come to these types of programs. I see not only ours, but DOMS and all the rest. You end up developing what you got to do, developing the numbers you want. Secondly, I would say that, Tom is actually right. The amount of time you put into it is great. But also, I will add that if you need to, and you're starting and you're learning, take another job. I mean, at night, do something. Take a side job, but do something that pays the bills. But also, more importantly than that, is budget yourself and build from there. So those are kind of my
time. Well, to make this job work.
Yeah, I mean, you don't give up. That's the whole thing. You don't give up, and it's hard. And everyone, sometimes you hear people and you say, "Oh shit, that looks easy. I'll do it." No, it's hard. And if you understand that it's hard, then you understand that you have the confidence to do it, because there ain't no plan B. then you just do it, because there's no other place where you're going to have control of your whole life if you're doing this for yourself. But that's to me the biggest thing. If you're working for somebody and they're telling you what to do, that's a whole different game. Or if you're an internal recruiter, that's a whole different game.
When I started, I was a beverage manager of a place called the Ocean Grill. I worked Tuesday through Sunday, 4 to close, so 12, 1 o'clock on the weekends, 10, 11 on weekdays. And I went to work for Management Recruiters on, a drawl of $200 a week. I couldn't quit that job. So I worked Monday through Friday at Management Recruiters, 8 to 5, 8 to 4:30, and then bartended and beverage managed from Tuesday to Sunday. So I went 3.5 months with not a single day off, except for Thanksgiving. We were closed on Thanksgiving at the Ocean Grill. So that's how I made this job work, right? Because I couldn't. I had wife and kids and mortgage and house, and I couldn't just. I was in the restaurant business all my life prior, so I was like, what the hell? I can't just quit. But once I figured it out, man, it was like when that light turned on, I resigned from the grill. They asked me to stay on through the season, and by mid-March, I was done. And I had I made more money. I paid more in taxes in 1998 than I made in 1997. So, and it was all because I wasn't willing to give up. I was willing to make. It was painful, not seeing my wife, not seeing my kids, working, no days off. It was painful, but look where I am now.
And the other thing too is exactly as you're saying. We're not. When you're working a salary job, you look at it usually from Monday through Friday, and then the weekends come and you're all excited. In this job, there is no weekend, because every day is a work day and every day is a weekend, because you get control of your life. If you want to take a Monday off, you take a Monday off. You don't have to ask anybody. And that's the real key to it. But you got to know how to control that. And then you got to also control the fact that people will assume you're not working. So everybody's going to call you up. Hey, you're working from home. Why don't you come and help me do this? Or hey, why don't you go to the store right now and do this? And they all assume you're not doing shit. So you gotta be strong enough to say, this is what I'm going to work. And sometimes you're working till 1 or 2 in the morning because you like it. You go crazy.
You work California, and somebody says, I talk to him at 8 o'clock at night, and it's 11 p.m. here. So yeah.
Who would that be?
Another thing too, for the newer people who are watching this or whatever, you don't need 100 clients, right? Think about how much money you want to make if you're a solo performer, if you're working with a company, right? If you have 5 clients that hire 2 people, that's 10 people, 20,000 each, that's 200 grand, right? You don't need this giant all these clients, right? You want to start out with a huge amount, so you can whittle down to the 5 or 6 or 7 or 10 clients you want to use or work with. But you don't need to have tons and tons of clients, right? A couple good clients that are pretty much, you have a great relationship with, they trust you, and they hire 3 or 4 people from you. If you have 2 that hire 3 or 4 people from you a year, that's 6 placements. It's $180,000 in fees. And then you do some onesie twosies, an MPC placement here, call-in job order there, and next thing you know, you're at 250 grand. Don't stress out on, I don't have enough clients, right? Get the good quality jobs to work on. Plan for 2026 of who you're going to go after. He's not on now. There's a recruiter who has his top 100, his 100 dream group, and he focuses on that like X amount of hours a week, and then the rest is all his other stuff, right? His clients, his jobs he's got, because he's got a successful firm. But there's this Dream 100, he calls them, that he has a whole program set to go after them in blocks of like 10. And if he gets and he did get one of the Dream 100s, he just signed a contract with, retained $5,000 up front, 3 searches, flat fee $28,000 and $32,000, right? For 3 or 4 searches. And that was that Dream 100. And the other 7 or 8 in that first day, nothing from them. All it took was that one. If he fills 4 positions with that one, and he's like us, his own deal, that's $120,000 in fees from his Dream 100. And then he's been working on that as a side business development issue along with all the other stuff that he does. So you could look at something like that, right? When you're out there, who are your Dream 100 you want to work with, and who are the rest of the companies, the clients you already have. There's a lot of ways to skin this cat. Don't get caught up. And Ernie said it best. What I do, what Pinnacle does, what Alan does, what Dominic does, don't get caught up in that. Do what you can do to be successful. And you can call us and ask us for help, and we can mentor you, but don't try to hold yourself up to, I'm not doing this. No, do what you can do and be successful. Go ahead, Alan.
Tommy, I think I'd like to make a suggestion to the group that we should come up with our own society name, because I think it should be something like, for those of you that have almost killed yourself, committed suicide because you want to get into Pinnacle, come over here and enjoy life as well. And it's just, look, I love listening to Ben Maynard's stuff, but because I love getting like 1 or 2 little pieces of advice on the pod, but God bless him. He found a huge niche, which has been wonderful. But I think he's a little too. I'd like him to see to interview you or Ernie or any of us at this point. I'd like to see him break out of the Pinnacle group again. And but I think that, like you said, sweat it, but don't sweat it. And the other thing that it's really tough is, because I wanted to ask the group here today, is I've got 2 clients. I got 1 new client, 1 existing. But the existing one, it's a mega company, but they don't follow through. They don't follow up. They don't, and I'm really tempted to just cancel the agreement and say, I'd rather keep you. I'd rather pull people out. I'd rather be able to call some of your people as candidates. Or when you're serious, call me. And then there's another one that is a small one, and Tommy's the California company that got acquired by a bigger company, and he's called. He knows me. He wants me to work. I got to work through. No offense, Kelly. I'm working through the HR talent person back east. She's rescheduled a video call 3 times. I know what she's doing. She's hoping that her little talent coordinator can search LinkedIn and get job postings. And it's like, look, my price is my price. You keep doing this. And I called Tommy, and Tommy's like, dude, I'm sorry, you got to work through them. Like, those are the ones that you'll give them a chance, but you'll drive yourself crazy, and you say to yourself, is it worth it? Right now, if they're just hiring bodies and every resume that you send them, they hire, then fine. Yeah. But if it's that much of a struggle, it's just never worth it. Yeah. You end up getting enamored by the size of the company. You think to yourself, oh man, if I can just handle this, they'll give me all their searches and I'll make lots of money. And you end up pulling your hair out, and you'll make 1 or 2 placements, and it'll be the hardest placements you've ever made. See, that is always what has been for me, these big companies. The hardest fucking placements I've ever made have been with really big companies. No, I agree with you. But the funny thing about this one is the VP calls me and says, put together a fair package for 24 hires. So, I had a monthly, I had a fee. You and I talked about it. I have a perf.
This is the company that you have to work with the applicant tracking people? The TA people? Same company?
No.
Okay. And that's okay. Like again, I'm not poo-pooing on all big companies, but when you gotta deal with that bullshit, that's the one poo-pooing.
No.
The TA person, when they ask you for a fair price, you should say 500,000.
Well, look.
Maybe because it's fair to me. You're asking me really what's a fair price for the company.
No, I get it. But the thing is he called me. He doesn't call me that often. He asked me to put this together. I put it together, and now it's like 2-3 weeks, and all I keep getting is that, well, we're busy. I'm really tempted to call the HR person who stays out of things and say, do me a favor, tell me why I shouldn't cancel this agreement and just start pulling your people off of when I'm going to search for my other clients, I'm just going to include who's looking.
Is it a contingency or is it engagement or,
The one I have signed is contingent because I needed it when I got started, but now it's more, I'd like to do the work. They were bitching and moaning that they didn't like the other people that were supporting them, but now it's kind of like, do you want to do it or don't you? Are you serious?
You and I just talked about that the other day when you were on the whole show.
Oh yeah.
And see, it's already driving you crazy. He's talked to you, he's talked to me, he's talking about it. Now think about that, Alan, for a second. I want you to think, and Steve, we'll get to you in a second. Think about that for a second. It's driving you crazy.
No, I know, but it was Kelly's client.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. I've only bitched to you.
Go ahead, Steve Jenkins.
A question for Alan. Do you think there's a possibility that he's just trying to tie you up so you don't take their people?
No, here's what I think, Ernie. Steve. And actually, I have an opinion on this. I think our business has gone from 80-20, 20% of the recruiters were good, 80% weren't. I used to joke it transitioned to 90-10 or 95-5. I got to tell you right now, from what I see, it's 98-2. And we got 2% here. Pinnacle, fine, whatever. But do you guys, everybody's bitching and moaning. We've got to do
It
this.
is nothing but bitching and moaning. It's crazy.
Do you guys really want to hire? I'm talking to a good client today. They hired a scheduler from me. Hard thing. They quoted me a price, Steve. The price was ridiculous. And I said, I got Bobby. Bobby fits your money. I know, look, I've talked to Bobby twice. I don't think he's the right guy, but if you're asking for this is your price. They hired Bobby. Now Bobby's having problems. I found them a replacement from my network out of the blue. It's been 3 weeks. I haven't heard from them. And it's kind of like, guys, are you serious? Do you want to replace Bobby? Do you not? It's okay. But, everybody's got, I know you guys, and construction's weird, Steve, because Tommy's my client. He's got his people, his clients that he's building for. Those clients need to get their financing in place and everything else and permitting and everything else. So yeah, there's a constancy about it. And I was listening to Steve Finkel the other day. He was talking how hard it is. But anyway, yeah, I'm driving myself crazy, Tommy, and I'm just looking for some better clients. Go ahead.
One of the other things that I think Dom mentioned that made a lot of sense is that in the big companies, in December, they have to finish off their vacation time. And you mentioned that one big shot is taking a month off of December, so therefore nobody's hiring.
I would disagree with that. Wait. Go finish.
But what I'm saying is, you're talking about the big clients.
Yeah.
Okay. Now you get the smaller ones and you get the medium-sized ones where you can't take a month off.
Right.
But the big ones, they do, and they can put a halt to it. But you can always hire in December. It's just a matter of choosing which ones you're working with and then figuring out their schedules. But that may be another thing why they're not getting back to you.
Well, that's true. And also in our industry, we're starting to run into the first of the year bonus problem, the delays. But, so-and-so won't take the job until March when he gets his bonus, which everybody kind of understands. But the funny thing is, Ernie, is when I had my company last time, KPMG and Technicolor were my best clients, but it was small divisions of those companies. So I didn't have to deal with the mega bureaucracy. But you want to know the funny thing is, if anybody here does contracting, I used to do a lot of work with Chevron back in the day. And I got to tell you, October, November, December was gravy for contracting because they had so much use it or lose it budget that if they didn't bring in a contractor a high-end systems development guy, and you know what? If you brought him a good guy, he'd stay for years on contract.
And with that being said, that goes to how important it is to understand your niche, your industry, how they work, and when is their peak time, when is their bonus time, when are all these other things that stop you?
Yeah. Ooh, that's good. Okay. Sorry, Tommy.
No, guys, talk amongst yourselves.
No, I can't. I have shut the fuck up on my monitor here, and I'm not listening to it.
So that's.
I wrote that for you. You should have,
what we're
you know,
doing
you have the
is-
hand up. You should have one that says "Shut the fuck up."
Says this. It's STFU.
I had to have slow down on my chalkboard at my old firm because I left a message for someone and they called back. This is before voicemails. And he said, yeah, somebody called and he was really excited and everything, but I have no idea what his name was. He just talked so fast I couldn't understand him. So my boss came in, told me that, and he wrote "slow down" in giant letters on my whiteboard. So I can slow down. But the thing I guess here is like, does anybody else want to like? What are you doing to plan, or what are your goals? Do you have an idea how you're going to attack 2026 first quarter, first month, whatever it is? Do you have any questions about planning? Any questions about the goals? Like, because all of us have, a lot of us have been doing this 20, 30 years. So what is it that we can help with, or what is it you think would work? Or what are you doing is different, right? And what do you have any tips, right, that maybe we don't know about, or refreshers? Because that's what we're trying to do here. Because all of us basically, we're in the same boat. We're small firms, or we work for someone, or we just started our firm. So
let me ask you a question, though. But does everyone kind of like see, like corporations kind of end it, their budget ends in December or whatever? I just kind of continue looking at it like month by month. It's there's no real like, great, I did well in 2025, now 2026. No, to me, it's like, it just continues.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go back like 12 months if you want, you go back a quarter, whatever. But, there's not really an end of fiscal year type of thing that I have. So I just look at different times in which I know it'd be slow, or different times like Thanksgiving, certain weeks you can't be, come almost through Thanksgiving week, you can almost not do shit because everyone's gone. And but again, you got to know, because manufacturing plants, they do work on Friday. They do work on Thursday. Yeah. Some of them, construction, they may work on Christmas Day if they have to, but that's what I mean in terms of how you plan it out. But
those guys in Canada, they might be on their boats on Thanksgiving.
Do they even celebrate holidays in Canada? I didn't know what they do there in Canada.
You're wearing a suit there.
What's interesting, that even in Mexico, they celebrate Thanksgiving, and some of them do because the people have come back and forth, and the people say it's Thanksgiving, then they go back to Mexico and they're celebrating Thanksgiving. But when I was there during Thanksgiving, it was like, who give a shit, So, but I know Kale is really, really respectful of the United States of America. Wishes he was here. See that voice, see that, tries to use that boat to get people across.
I love you guys. You guys give $1,000 to kids for the stock market, but you don't give them health care. Brilliant idea. Brilliant idea.
Stop causing trouble.
Go pay for your own health care until you're 18.
I'm surprised you're still our friend. For all that we do to the rest of the world, we don't deserve it.
Guys, come on.
I'm glad I've only got one outboard on my big boat.
Yes. Yeah. Hey, I see anybody that's in a boat right now, I'm thinking, hey, be careful out there.
Wow.
And just for people that don't know, Kale lives in Canada.
I've got good U.S. customers, though, and I'm planning to come fishing in San Diego and California.
San Diego.
Well, you better stop by.
I'm gonna be down there for lobster season. Like, there's all these. We got lobster, tuna. Like, there's all these things I got to get down there for. So
you fly down there. You don't take your boat down there, do you?
Of course, I take my boat.
You do not really?
Yeah, I'm not going to get on a charter.
Oh.
Okay.
It's a different world for me.
And that's a hike to trailer a boat.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know if your air traffic control is going to be working. Who's in charge of the FAC down there? Like, I'm just taking my boat. I know you guys keep your highways pretty good. I'm going to take my boat, come down and go fishing.
I've always had the dream of getting a boat that I could take from Maryland to Florida, run down the intercoastal, like a 40-footer with triple or quad 300s on it. Get up there about 80. That's what I want.
Yeah, the old
That's what I'm planning for. I'm planning for the 35 to 40-foot center console, Intrepid, maybe Grady White.
Gail, you'll appreciate this.
Take a
This
couple of
shows
horses
how
with you.
naive I am about, I did a lot of fly fish, but no ocean fishing. I was fishing off the coast, went on a charter off the coast of Durban, South Africa. And we get on the boat and I don't see any poles. They hand us a line. And I look at the old guy, on both of his fingers, he's got these pieces of rubber. And I said, "What's that for?" He says, "Well, put your line in. You'll find out pretty soon." Holy
Jesus.
cow. When you're using hand lines and I got a small shark on the end of it, and it went the opposite direction of where we were going, and I watched that line cut me all the way almost to the bone. It's
Ain't
salt
never
on
friggin'
that.
happening, man.
The old guy,
Anything over 2 pounds, I ain't doing
Oh,
with
God.
a hand
Old
line.
man of the sea.
he takes out one of the little rubber things and he says, "Okay, mate, I think you understand what we're doing here now." I thought,
So
oh
Steve-
my God.
So Steve, hold up your hand.
Yeah, really.
So I used to commercial fish, and we
Uh-huh.
used hand lines, and
Yeah.
then I also tuna fish commercially, but I also tuna fish for small tuna, albacore up here, and we use hand lines. But the big thing is you got to use the pads of your fingers if you're bringing in a 20, 30-pound salmon or a halibut,
Yeah.
because if you get the creases, it cuts your fingers, and you will not heal
No.
until you're done fishing at the end of the summer.
That's right.
We have fishing poles for a reason, bro. What would you use hand lines for? I mean, I understand long lining, but what would you use hand? Like, that doesn't even make a 30-pound tuna.
I think Kale's also the type that jumps in the water and tries to wrestle him up to the boat.
So that's because of commercial fishing. If you want to have fun, you can use your fishing pole.
But if you want to ruin your life,
This calls you a punk ass. There you go.
we're going off the rails. Does anybody have anything else
Another
about
thing I
planning?
Okay, back into recruiting again.
Okay, back to
Tuna
recruiting.
fishing is much more fun.
Mhm.
And anybody have a Pinterest account, and does it ever get you business?
What is the point of a Pinterest account? I never understood it. It's to collect pictures. I never understood the point of a Pinterest account.
Apparently, Tony, it's got high domain authority. So for SEO and AI,
That it does.
Search
That it
engine.
friggin' does. That's for
I remember when I was
sure.
at Accenture, they had a whole team that just did Pinterest. They sold ads for Pinterest. That was the account when I was at Accenture. I remember that. I was like, Pinterest, really? People buy ads for that? Yeah, okay.
Okay. Well, yeah, and we've got, one of my old social media team members, executive assistant, she set up this account, and I'm like, anybody got the login? Let's get on this, because apparently because we get a few searches from referrals from Chat GPT, right? So a company will say, "Hey, I need a headhunter for this," and we've gotten at least 2 leads, I know, from that. And yeah, I'd like to amp it up. And I'm looking at our Pinterest, and like, no posts in 3 years. So I'm like, we got to get on this.
So what do you put in Pinterest then? Like, hey, I'm a headhunter looking or
Recipes and
watching?
pictures. Here's a great cookie recipe. And also, if you need a job, talk to me.
And then-
I'll find it, but the example I saw was it was an AI kind of company. Let me just see if I can find ours.
I
Yeah,
only
so
ever
we're not-
used it to collect recipes.
Yeah, so we don't get much traffic, but what I would do is I'd look for a recruitment company that's getting like 10,000 views a month on Pinterest, right? So let's see.
That's actually not a bad idea, the way that you're approaching it.
Yeah, so we've done it more from a career. So like these are our posts.
Okay.
Job seeker tips. But anyways, let me just see. Recruiter, Los Angeles.
Los Angeles.
How do you spell angels?
Angel, yes.
Okay, so Los Angeles Business Group. Nothing.
Yeah, when
But there's-
somebody's looking for somebody, they're really going to go to Pinterest to look to see, oh, that's a recruiter I never thought of.
Yeah, but they get 721.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah.
views.
It's weird.
So tell me like one of the leading staffing agencies in the States.
Robert Half.
Let,
Where? How do I get to their bloody?
Visit.
Dude, I have no idea how Pinterest. Or how about what's Kelly? Who's the big temp staffing?
Kelly Staffing. Kelly girl.
Yeah.
that's right.
Kelly Staffing. There you go.
No, it's the
Kelly
wrong one.
Services, Tech
Nothing.
Systems, Manpower, Deco, Robert.
Manpower.
Half, Page
Kelly
Board.
Services.
Deco. Manpower and Deco. Yeah.
Okay.
8 monthly views. Hmm.
Now,
I
do
suppose-
people do this because, look, I might not be on the phone, but look, I'm doing Pinterest for the company. I'm doing Pinterest for the company.
I don't have any placements, but look how many pictures I put up.
What's the one that the owner of the Ravens? Which is his company?
Allegis Group,
ALL.
EGIS, I believe.
Oh,
Or you can
and
look
then
for Tech Systems, TEKS.
Allegiance Group, the second one.
You know,
I think that's it. Nope.
That's not.
Nothing. How about Heinrich and Struggles?
I mean, Tech Systems. Yeah, 280. There we go. Now we got one.
But that's weak.
Yeah.
Yes, I called by them.
Why is that weak? What are you looking for?
why don't you put up? Why don't you put up there? I need a recruiter.
That they haven't.
Alan, put yourself on mute, buddy.
One of the other groups over there.
I got him. Hold on.
Good morning. I think she's been being. Good morning. They haven't called me yet. I think she's being transferred to the internal medicine, and then I was going to go call them. And
Great
I like the
headhunter. What is
hiring
that name?
secrets.
That's UK. Take it from a headhunter. Heart lessons. Headhunters by. Next job. Best job. How about
I
executive
like that
search?
book, The Headhunter's Edge.
Yeah. I want to see the movie. They look very serious in that movie.
There it is.
There you go. There you go.
So, all right.
Okay. Can you find me a good bread recipe, really?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and,
Like I don't know, but
but look at it this way. I think when you post, say, on LinkedIn, right? I see a lot of posts and I see a lot of likes from recruiters. I don't give a shit about other recruiters. I want the
There's
company.
a-
You know, I
Look at
want.
that. There you go.
It's like preaching to the choir. Yeah.
And then they're telling you how to.
2.5 thousand monthly views. That's a good one right there.
But you got to figure, Robert Half, they have somebody, and this is their job. This is all they
Mhm.
do all day is make these fancy little
Look at-
things that look cute.
but Anthony, you can make them with Gemini.
These
now.
are 4 years old
Yeah.
though.
6 months ago, 3 months
Oh,
ago,
okay.
you couldn't have done it with Gemini. Now
Yeah.
you can do it with Gemini. So
Rob or Kale, could you scroll down for a second? Because those
Yep.
are all 4 years old.
yeah,
Right, they're
yeah.
all old.
So give me somebody good.
Who's the one that Corn Ferry bought? Payforce Group? Payforce?
Well, just try
Corn
Corn
Ferry,
Ferry. I wonder if Corn Ferry's in
Force?
there at all.
Corn
Red's
Ferry
got a
bought
big one.
Payforce?
Yeah, I'll find Corn Ferry
I
next.
think.
So, Kale,
I'm not.
Kale, are you going to do this?
We're already doing it. but we need to get back to it.
Corn Ferry.
It's a K.
And then a space.
I guess let me back up with another question though. Given all of these different, Facebook and all the rest of the other ones, which is your biggest?
And one person. Yeah, jeez.
Which is the one you like the best? You get the best return on.
For us,
LinkedIn, Facebook.
it's our own website because Google picks it up because
You
people
can see
come to our
that, yeah.
website. Yeah. So like, how much do I spend in Google AdWords? Too much. But how much do I spend on LinkedIn? Less than my website. Always spend more on your website than on, job posts on Indeed, job posts on the LinkedIn. Like, invest in
Well,
your.
you got to figure when somebody comes to your site, they're coming in with a purpose. On LinkedIn, it just could be to kill time, so it's very, very different. So it's much more focused.
Yeah. I mean, and I underinvest in my website, but at least I invest in my website, right? And
Yeah.
I should be doing $1,000 a month on my website, but I'm not. It's like,
Do y'all find that when you're doing emails, calling, text, and in-mails in LinkedIn, which is the one where you get the most conversations, the most responses? Because I've been finding that I get more responses off of LinkedIn people that I go directly through using Jobin.
Yeah, well, so if you want to talk about like posting, whenever I post something, like the one that got me like a whole bunch of new followers and people connecting with me was the one I did on the compensation. Look at this, the Recruiter Mom, 2.5 million monthly views.
But who is the
But I'll
main
tell you what
audience
that
for
person is. That
Pinterest?
is a
Beauty
multi-level. She's
That's
selling cosmetics.
right.
I don't care. I'm going to be the recruiting dad next. I don't,
But I think Pinterest is probably most of Pinterest is women that look at Pinterest.
well,
Anybody's
how
brought
many,
up Pinterest to me has always been a woman.
Yeah,
how many of my
that's actually,
customers are women? Like at
Yeah.
least 50%, if not 70%.
Okay. Well, I think we're all going to do it.
That's it.
I mean, look, every single anything that's free that you can market to, as long as it's not like the shiny object stuff we were talking about before, right? You could set this up if you have the right software like Socialmonials or something like that, where your postings are something that you take a half a day, right? Once a week. And you make sure you have 4 or 5 posts going out on LinkedIn, 3 going out on Pinterest, 1 going on. You can do that all in a half a day on a Sunday, while your wife or your husband's watching TV. You could be doing that on your laptop, and then you hit send, and then that stuff goes out for you. That's how you could really. Oh, look at that one. That's how you could benefit in the free social media world.
Pinterest's major demographic are women between the ages of 18 and 34.
And all that effort to do that, and they still spelled based wrong.
Yeah.
So U.S. baited.
But also, this person, I'm looking. I don't understand how Pinterest works. These are 2-year-old. They haven't posted anything for 2 years.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Like he has 4.9 monthly views, 1,000 followers, and
Pinterest is pinup boards. It's not stuff that's like regularly put out all the time. So the demographics of Pinterest is mostly millennial women between the ages of 18 and 34. And for example, my wife uses it, and she made a travel pinup board for me that she basically designed for packing, like a packing list. And that's an example of something that she would put. So it's like pinups. It's not like content like you would see, on X or Blue Sky or any of the other social platforms.
David, is it for making money, or did she make money off of that, or just puts it up there?
You can.
I mean, you can, but I would say it's mostly like for hobbyists. So like, for example, if you're, I don't know, an artist and you have different types of art or themes, you can make a board of your, I don't know, sculptures of butterflies.
If you have an Etsy site, this could be marketing for your
Well,
Etsy site.
Etsy's different though. You could use the two in conjunction to showcase your.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Your stuff.
So I just put in executive search in quotes, And there's some stuff, and you can kind of click on. You see like Premier Finance, Executive Search, IT Recruitment, Executive Recruiters Playbook, and then clicking on some of these people actually are. I mean, yeah.
But are they in Pinnacle?
Are they actually getting on the phone, or they use this as an excuse not to be on the phone? I can make a phone call or do a Pinterest. I'll do Pinterest. Yeah.
Executive interview. What is? Yeah, I mean, it looks like there's like, how do you stand out?
If you could automate it, I think that would be within. You're not putting a lot of effort into it, and you're just sending it out there, so it might start a conversation.
So Pinterest, to have it optimized, you have to manually post. So I was just on Upwork, and you can get a Pinterest expert for $6 to $8.
Oh, geez. Okay, there you go.
$6 to $8.
But you're gonna have to proofread them.
Yes. Okay.
At that price.
Yeah.
I mean, this is actually kind of interesting because, and I don't know a lot about it, but it looks like you could start a board and then post weekly, and people start noticing your stuff, and it's just like, I guess, any of the other stupid social media. You get a following, people follow your shit, and that's it.
You see, you could do a test because you have the Recruiter Roundtable. You could start doing a Recruiter Roundtable Pinterests and see if anybody actually responds to it. It gives you an idea. Do they respond? Do they not respond?
Well, I'll be on it by January here. I asked my team to get on it earlier today, so I'll let you know if I have any results, and anybody who finds a good account to follow, share it with me.
Okay.
What else are you doing?
There you go, Kale. My kids were swimming at the beach. This was in Florida where we used to live, and there was a guy fishing about 40 yards up, and he caught that while my kids were swimming.
Did he throw
shark?
Yeah. Yep. I got knocked off my surfboard by a shark. I dove into the water. I was getting ready to paddle out, and the place that I surfed has a deep channel in front. So it's a little bit of a shore where it's, up to your knees, and then a deep channel, and then a sandbar, and the sandbar is like 2 foot deep, and then you go through the sandbar, and then you paddle out more, and there's another where the break is. So it was early in the morning, probably 8 a.m., and I get down to the beach, and I'm looking, and I stand, I'm at knee-deep water, I'm about to dive because I know where the channel is, and it's super deep. As soon as I dive, I paddle one time, a fish comes, a shark had been chasing a fish, he came up on my board, hit me in my arm, and knocked me off my board. Bruised my arm all the way down, it was yellow, and it was the scariest shit I'd ever seen. I didn't get bit, but he knocked me off my surfboard. So Florida has the most sharks, hands down, anywhere else. You hear about California and Australia because when you get bit by a shark in California, Australia, you die. In Florida, you get bit all the time. All the time. I've been in the water and seen someone bit by a shark. I was surfing Sebastian Inlet during hurricane season and saw a guy get bit by a shark.
But they're smaller sharks. They're not like 25-foot sharks. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. The worst ones are the bull sharks because they like the taste of human flesh, believe it or not, and they can swim into brackish water. There's been attacks in the river from them. So you have to be careful of bull sharks. But other than bull sharks, you're good to go. Usually you get bitten because they think you are a fish, right?
Oh, yeah, that's right, yeah.
You're in a school. We were surfing at Fort Pierce Inlet, and I was talking to a buddy of mine, Jeff. We were sitting on our boards. We were about 10 feet apart, and a big spinner shark came up, and right in between us, because he was chasing fish, he comes up and jumps and spins and jumps back down. And a lot of times those fish will swim towards you because your board makes like a little shadow. They think they can hide, and then the shark will accidentally bite your foot or your leg or whatever. So whenever you see a shark, everybody just gets up on their boards and puts their hands and feet up.
I like to go in the water and grab sharks and bring them on shore. I don't like I like the hooks.
Mix ceviche with sharks. There you go.
Just get in there, man. It's called Swimming with Sharks. I read the book.
Great movie.
All right, Kale. So what else are you doing out there besides
the Pinterest idea is good?
Everything Kale says that he does and all this stuff, he hands it off to somebody in the Philippines.
Instead of Pinnacle Society, we can call it the Pinterest Society.
I'm just doubling down on video. Ernie, doubling down on video. So
Yeah,
You're
no,
doubling
I
down on video?
see you on the time, all the time on video. Are you doing that by yourself? Or are you having somebody help you, or like a director or something?
yeah, so I've got my editor who's really good, and then I just if you've heard of Colin and Samir, they interview a lot of the largest YouTubers. So I've got their course, and I just finished their course as well, right? And the strategy behind YouTube is Google owns YouTube, right? So it's twofold. For search, you get found on YouTube. People waste their time on YouTube. It's bigger than Netflix. It's bigger than TV, right? And it costs nothing to post there. And as soon as you get to 1,000 followers and 4,000 watch hours, Google gives you 55% of the revenue.
Wow.
Yeah, you can if you
all that.
get a good view count, you can make some okay money.
Mr. Beast is a billionaire, and he started on YouTube. It all came from YouTube.
Now, when you do that, I mean, so two parts of it, right? Is one thing is doing the actual filming and videoing of you, and the second part is coming up with ideas. So how do you come up with ideas? I mean,
yeah, so I just took where is it?
That are interesting.
Here, I'll send it to you. So I can share a real note if anybody's interested, but here, can I make this bigger? I don't know how to make this bigger here. So just some ideas. Why having kids can harm or hurt your career.
So you recommend adoption agencies for them, or what?
Yeah. Why getting a job close to you is worth $1 million.
Yeah,
I helped
these all like clickbait. Yeah.
I helped 1,000 people get paid more.
Yeah. Okay.
Right?
Oh, I like that one.
And I could just, you don't need a long title for that. Right?
Yeah.
And then you need a good, like, nobody's going to watch unless they're going to click, is one of the things these guys teach you, right? So I helped 1,000 people get paid more. So I need a good image that is intriguing and helps with their knowledge gap. Like, so why would they click on that, right? If they already knew how to get paid more, they wouldn't click on it. But also, I need a good image that goes with that. So, and then I got
somebody with dollars falling.
So when you're on YouTube, you're watching it, and they'll always have these ads that'll come out every once in a while. You have to watch the whole thing and then get credit for it, or just that little piece that you're watching that it comes up?
Well, in YouTube, the ads will come. This is the monetization thing he was talking about. So if the Recruiter Roundtable wanted to be monetized, we need another 57 subscribers, and we need to have another 3,000 basically watch hours in a year, or 3 million.
That's only partial monetization. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so there's multiple ways to monetize. The biggest way is to sell a product or sell a service. So my goal with that YouTube video is to eventually sell my headhunting services. Somebody's like, oh, this is a good headhunter. He's sharing information with me. I'm going to use him down the road, or I'm going to tell somebody if they need a headhunter, call Caleb, right? So that's the high ticket item, right? But
yes,
hopefully my costs are covered through the AdWords revenue. So I've one of my channels is monetized, and Google owes me $25 right now. It's not much, but when you're Canadian, that's actually like $35. So yeah,
you become one of the top 10 Canadian YouTubers. There you go.
Yeah, but the big thing is you create the one video and then you chop it up into shorts on LinkedIn, and then also you get somebody to transcribe that and then change it into blogs as well, right? So yeah, you don't spend your whole time posting this on Facebook, right? You need somebody else to be doing a bunch of the work, and you got to use some automation. You got to use the tools better. And 6 months ago, I remember, it must have been 2 years ago, I tried to get AI to write something, and it was like 50% hallucination, right? And now it's getting to the point where it's like 1%. So like somebody who's got half a sense can find that hallucination, where it used to be I had to go over the hallucinations and I'd spend all my time like editing. You don't have to now, right? So choose the medium that you like to. If you like to type, go ahead and type, right? If you like to like dictate, like I know Tom likes to dictate, just dictate something and get somebody else to change it into video, get somebody else to change it into a Pinterest post, right? And because somebody who's good with the AI tools now can chop it up into everything in a reasonable amount of time, where, 4 years ago, where I had an executive assistant here in the office, it was like, I'm spending 50, 60 grand and like, we're not getting a lot done. Where now you can produce on one channel that you like, whether it's dictating on your phone, whether it's blogging, whether it's whatever it is. Even take your submissions, take your transcripts. I know, who is it? Is it Dom? There's lots of headhunters. They transcribe everything. Take the content that comes in from your sales calls and the challenges that clients have, and use that to create blogs. Like, you don't have to reinvent the wheel and say, oh, what am I going to talk about? It's all there in the conversations you're having with clients. You can't quote them directly, but you can say, I talked to 3 leaders this week, and all they care about is trying to be able to find an AI expert, whatever it is, right? And you can use those transcripts to create your content.
Those clickbait titles are absolutely fantastic. I mean, like just the one of I've placed 1,000, I've helped 1,000 people find better jobs for more money. That's it. And then people are gonna fucking click on that. It was like a bucket of cold water splashed in my face when I looked at that idiot recruiter Preston and that chick, the $1 million recruiter or whatever. Every single one of their titles are fucking clickbait. Because I summarized a bunch of their videos the other day, and he was saying this recruiter made $50,000 in 1 month, right? So I went and looked at the video and I had summarized. It was a $50,000 pipeline to get that and made a fucking single deal. He just had a pipeline of searches for 50 grand. It was all fucking clickbait, right? And it's got 8,000 views, 10,000 views, right? And if I do a video, it's like, hey, I'm a headhunter. This is what you do. Like, there's no clickbait to mine. I don't get good views. These guys put this shit up and they got a gazillion fucking views.
Well, also,
So-
you're not selling
man.
a course for $5,000. So you're not also giving them the idea, like even if they come to the roundtable, we don't say here, it's easy. You can do this in your shorts on the beach and you're just going to make all kinds of money.
So Tom, so what you should do is I'll share. I've just started using Google Keep, which is kind of like a note organizing thing. I've got one on titles, right? So there's an information gap that people could fill with the recruiter roundtable, right? And this is 20. I think your title for this is 2026 planning, right? And yeah. So your title should be an information gap for recruiters, headhunters, and have some intrigue, right? And how they're going to get some value out of this. And if you wanted to invest in it, you'd have somebody chop up and put all the highlights in, right? So one of the highlights might be talking about sharks. Another one would be talking about making some motherfucking money. So
Why most recruiters fail. That would be a good clickbait kind of thing. I'd click on that.
yeah, but it has to be, you also have to, you earn the click, but then you also have to deliver in that first 7 seconds what they're going to get by watching the whole video, right? So I would pull out a couple of clips from the discussion here that really highlight that, and that would increase the
Our videos are too long too. Our videos are way too long. I don't edit them, right? So
they're not. Look at Diary of a CEO. He's got like 3-hour interviews with these women, and like they're good looking women, but some of them aren't, right? Like how are you going to spend 3 hours with this guy? And it's because at the start they put in some highlights. You watch his. So if you pulled out 3 highlights from this discussion on hot, planning your 2025, then somebody would click on it and then they'd watch to see those highlights, and then in sometime next year, you change the title because nobody's planning for 2026 anymore, right? So you have to yeah,
that's a good point.
have a
I didn't
have
think
a
about that
system,
one.
right?
You know,
So
you know,
go ahead,
the I took a transcript somewhere. I don't know. I just copied one out of ChatGPT. But going with what Kale and you guys were talking about, I said create a small blog post for LinkedIn. But what gets me is I don't want to talk to recruiters. I don't want to talk to candidates. I want to talk to clients. So I said create it for clients, and then I just posted it right there in the in-call messages that we have. It says most companies don't have a talent shortage. They have a talent strategy problem. Your competitors are winning because they move faster, they recruit, they engage, they use data, they build. But at Next Level, we don't wait for candidates to appear. We create talent pipelines using a proprietary MPC backed by AI. So you can take a transcript, even what we're using here, take those ideas and then tell it to make a blog or post for LinkedIn. But say, what I find is that people direct when they write their blogs on LinkedIn, it's directed more towards other recruiters. Why in the fuck do I want to talk to other recruiters?
Because
That's
you are
like-
selling classes.
No, I want to talk to clients, and I want them to get
Thank
it.
you.
Plus that you could take into JobIn and post it to all of your people there that are actual presidents of companies, and send out messages to that.
Gail, I would imagine that you send on a pretty frequent basis the highlights of your talks to most all your C-level contacts.
I should be spamming them all the time, but I because
There's
like-
fishing to be done here.
I mean, there is fishing to be done, and one of the big things is one of the reasons I like JobIn is because you can have team members do things on your account.
Yes.
So, like
You can have multiple LinkedIn profiles, and you can have mine and Kelly's and Alan's and Andrew's and have them all on one JobIn account and switch back and forth and send out a bunch of posts for Andrew, then switch to Alan, send out a bunch of, I mean, there's a lot you can do with that, which is really cool. But hey, before we talk about anything else, I want to go to secret double probation. We're at an hour right now. So give me 1 second. That's a wrap for today's Recruiter Roundtable. Thanks to all of you who attended and participated. See you later, Kale. And to those watching the replay later, we truly appreciate it for being part of our community. You can help us tremendously by hitting that like button, subscribing to the channel, and sharing the Roundtable anywhere you can. Check out our sibling shows, Ask a Hunter Live, 5 p.m. on Tuesdays, and as well as Dominic Miani's Business Development Roundtable every Thursday at noon. You can find us at YouTube at the Recruiter Roundtable and our new website, therecruiterroundtable.com. For topics, suggestions, questions, or just say hello, email us at therecruiterroundtable@gmail.com. Legal services roundtable are provided by the law offices of Dewey Cheatham and Allen. Remember, this podcast may contain information that's confidential, public, unsuitable for every central person, but no self-esteem, no sense of humor or rational beliefs. You'll be happy to know that all animals were harmed in making this podcast, although the mutt next door is living on borrowed time. Thanks again for being part of the Recruiter Roundtable. For Ernie Moreno and Kelly Nelson, I'm Tom Alessio. We'll see you next week on the Recruiter Roundtable. Until then, don't forget to smile and dial, and don't forget those who fail to plan. No, I'm sorry. Those who fail to plan to fail. We're out.
Ernie,
That's why we have